Grew up in New London Spicer, graduated high school in 2011, graduated Concordia College in 2015, then went up to Canada for a few years, spent a year in Minnesota, 3 in Carolina, and then spent my last year in Detroit with my brother.
So I went to Division II, Minnesota State Mankato. From there, played redshirted my first year, played all 4 years after that. And after that is actually, as soon as I graduated, was COVID, and that whole ordeal. All the pro days and all the workouts were canceled, so I actually wasn't able to even perform in front of any scouts. So I ended up taking a year and a half off. Didn't hear anything, working construction, and actually got a call from the Vikings, late May to join the squad in 2021.
Kind of met them both around the same time when I first got here in 2016. I was kind of introduced to both of them. Obviously, I worked with their mother, so I knew her first. And so, she would ask for advice on certain things, and I would say, just bring them in. I'm happy to see them, and we'll check them out and kind of see what's going on. Typically, your sports medicine procedures are things that you would do arthroscopically or with the camera. Typically, it involves more of injuries to ligaments and tendons versus broken bones or arthritic changes in the joints.
So it happened in summer training, I believe, and it was just something I played through the entire season. I knew it was there, but I didn't want to risk losing time. The last thing any athlete wants is to miss time or miss practice. So it was just through his advice and our team docs to just wait, and get it after the season.
So when Shane came to me, he had injured his knee playing football during the season, and he was still in season when we had our first discussion. We had done our evaluation and we had some imaging, and we knew that he had an injury to his meniscus. It was in an area and such a type of injury where we had the discussion as to, well, do we fix it now, which means that you're out for the rest of the year, or do we try and protect it because it's not likely to get worse, get you through the season, and then fix it when the season's over. And oftentimes that's a discussion that we have with a lot of our athletes, because they obviously want to keep playing, but we want to do what's safe for them too. And fortunately for Shane, he had a type of injury that I felt we could protect through the remainder of the season and then operate on him afterwards so that he wouldn't miss any of the competitive portion of his season.
So it was our last game. Before the game started, there was 0 snow on the ground. By the time the game was finished, I think there was 8 inches. It was an absolute blizzard out there, kind of a wild experience, but it was in the very first quarter. I think it was my first catch of the game. Landed on my shoulder and knew it popped right away. I tried to do a few more plays after that, but I couldn't lift it. Ran over to the sideline, told him kind of what happened, and ended up being just a slight shoulder injury, and ended up just kind of taping it down. Ended up finishing the game. We ended up losing, so that ended up being the last game of the year, so I didn't have to deal with it the week after.
When Brandon came to me, he was getting ready to go to training, and after our evaluation and talking through options, he had such an injury where we were able to once again just kind of treat him non-operatively, strengthen up the area around it, and felt that would be appropriate for him to be able to participate in the season without further injury or having him not be able to compete at the highest level that he could.
This is your body. This is your body of work. It all starts with that. And thankfully, I had a prior relationship with Dr. Slinkard, and that's just really helped. And I've been able to bounce ideas, stuff like that off him, and it's just been a great relationship.
Well, one thing that always kind of stuck out to me, it was after his surgery. I know he talked back and forth for a while, but it was after his surgery. I think it was like the next physical he had or something like that. He got some kind of scope with the knee or something like that, and the team didn't even know that he had a surgery. Like it was that clean. And I remember Shane calling me and kind of telling me about that, and I was just like, that happened in Wilmer, Minnesota of all places. I was like, that's super cool, and that's definitely built the confidence for us to use him as a resource.
I take a lot of pride in treating our athletes. I was an athlete myself who's been hurt multiple times in the past. I've had 2 shoulder surgeries myself during my athletic season, so that being able to treat these athletes hits very close to home for me. I'm very empathetic towards them, and I understand a lot of times what they're going through when they have these injuries, because I went through it myself. So to be able to treat them and get them back on the field, especially at the same level, if not better than what they were before, that's that's just a great feeling.